Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bolak. And Dan, tonight we get college hockey as the Falcons of Fitchburg State University come in as heavy favorites against the Rams of Framingham State.
Oh, you bet, John. Coming into this game, the Falcons 12-6-3 overall, 7-4-3 in the MASCAC. That's good for second in the conference. And they're coming off an explosive weekend last Thursday and Saturday when they took on two of the three best teams in the conference in UMass Dartmouth and Plymouth State, and they were able to take a maximum 4 points from those games. A 6-3 win over UMass Dartmouth where they got 3 quick goals to put the Corsairs away after it was a back-and-forth struggle. And then on Saturday, the big one against the cream of the crop, Plymouth State University, number 15 nationally in the USCHO and D3 hockey polls. And the Falcons were able to storm out of Hanaway Rink with a 7-5 victory.
The Falcons went into Plymouth and put up 7 against Plymouth State.
It was an absolutely incredible game. The Falcons' power play that's been a bit snake bit this year, they scored 4 power play goals. Sasha Figge had a 4-point night, 2 goals and 2 assists. Brandon Eklund, who only had 2 career goals coming into that game, he scored twice, including the game winner, to help put the Falcons over the top. Kirby Sari, he gave up 5 goals, but he played out of his mind. 46 saves, several 10-bell saves to help steal that game away for Fitchburg State and give the Falcons the whole shot at a first-round bye in this year's MASCAC playoffs.
So the Falcons, after that impressive win against Plymouth State, have had an entire week to recover. They have not played in 7 days, and today they take on the Rams of Framingham State. They come in with the record 3-16-2, 2-12 in the MASCAC. Tell me a little bit about the Rams, Dan.
Well, first off, the Rams might be a bit frustrated. They cannot qualify for the postseason. Out of 7 teams in the conference, 6 make the playoffs, so someone has to stay home. And unfortunately for Framingham, 4 points from 14 games. The best they can do is tie Westfield and Salem, and they don't have the tiebreakers on either of them. So they're just playing out the string here today as they have locked up the wooden spoon for 2017-2018. And for Framingham State, their most recent game was against Westfield State on Thursday night. They lost to the Owls of Westfield State by a score of 4-2. Goals for Walker Hamilton and Ryan Paul helped pace the Rams. And Greg Harney made 38 saves, but at the end of the game, Greg Harney did a very stupid thing. He got a game misconduct, and he is not going to play in today's game.
7 losses in a row for the Rams, and as you said, they are without their starting goaltender tonight. They will go to the backup against Fitchburg State. Falcons, meanwhile, come in having won 2 games in a row. They have not lost since Sunday, January the 28th, a 6-2 defeat at the hands of Colby. Can you explain to me, for those at home who might not know the intricacies of hockey, why the Falcons played 3 games in 4 days? That seems ridiculous.
It seems ridiculous. I know for the Colby game, they had to do it on a Sunday, and this was, I guess, the best time they could squeeze it in there. But for the most part, and yeah, it went 9-3 win over Westfield, 4-4 tie against Worcester, a game you saw on FATV 2 weeks ago, hopefully. And then the 6-2 loss against Colby, a very strong NESCAC team. But besides that, the Falcons haven't lost in conference play since January 11th when they lost 4-2 to Plymouth State. Or I don't think it was a 4-2 game now that I think of it. I think that's wrong. But I think I typoed on that. But I think it was a 5-3 game. But nonetheless. Yep, ignore the sloppy mistakes in the stat sheets that you can't see at home. The point of the matter is the Falcons have been very dominant in conference play since, going 5-0-2 in their last 7 games. Or 4-0-2, I should say, because I'm counting a Wentworth game that was also non-conference.
Meanwhile, for Framingham State, they come in, it's difficult to see a bright spot for the Rams. They come in averaging just 2 goals per game, last in the MASCAC. Their scoring defense, 4 3/4 goals allowed per game. That is also last in the MASCAC. And on top of that, they concede the most penalty minutes of any team in the Massachusetts State College Athletic Conference.
18.7, and that's 4th in the nation, too. For Framingham State, their leading scorer is Walker Hamilton. He is a freshman coming out of Anchorage, Alaska, all the way from Alaska to play college hockey for Framingham State. 6 goals and 6 assists for the young man, but in 21 games, and only 1 penalty, too. Very disciplined. He is a freshman. He is also a defenseman, which is sort of the thing that sticks out at me the most.
When your defenseman is leading your team in goals, it's bad. That's the word.
It's not a good thing. Ryan Paul, 4 goals and 8 assists as well for 12 points from only 15 games as well. Paul, he's also a freshman. He's from Morgan, Vermont, played for the New England Stars. So those are a couple of their star players. We sort of mentioned Greg Harney. He's been their leading goalkeeper, 380 goals against, 903 save percentage. Fairly solid numbers. He's been doing well to keep the Rams in games, but as we mentioned, he's going to be playing the role of Sir not appearing in this contest.
Instead, starting in net for Framingham State will be Adam Calabrese. Just 6 starts for him on the year. The Rams are 1-4 in those games, and, well, he tries very hard, doesn't he?
He does.
I'm sure he's a fine young man who has a difficult situation in front of him, and it's not entirely his fault that he has a goals against average in the high 5s.
Yep, the junior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Adam Calabrese, will be making his
I'm sure he's very happy.
Yep.
Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Good for him.
Yep, and he's going to get this start, a 5.9 goals against, an 859 save percentage in his career. This is his 37th game played. He's 323-1 with a 495 and an 868. He faces 42 shots a game. But that's also part of the problem is we've mentioned that Framingham's defense, they give up about 40 shots a game. Strangely enough, Fitchburg has the same exact problem. They also give up 40 shots a game, but they have very strong goaltenders in Brian McGrath and Kirby Sari, the former of which we will be seeing today.
Absolutely.
Yep, for Brian McGrath, he's got a 290 goals against, a 928 save percentage. That's 3rd and 2nd in the MASCAC, respectively, in those categories, and 18th in save percentage nationally amongst 111 qualified goaltenders. Those are good numbers, and McGrath does this while facing 40.32 shots per game. That's most in the conference, 5th most in Division II and III. And the only goalies who face more shots a game than him have goals against well over 4.
Taking a look at the coaches real quick, Falcons, of course, led by Dean Fuller in his 34th season. He is 7th all-time in Division III victories. For Framingham State, they are led by Guy Anger in his 2nd season with the team. A 539-2 record for Anger in his 2nd tenure leading the Rams.
He was with the Rams from 1990 to 1996, led them to a record of 80 wins, 60 losses, and 8 draws, including was probably one of the best seasons in Rams history, a 17-17-2 mark in 1995. Rams made it to the ECAC semifinals. Anger was named Coach of the Year for that. But also worth pointing out for Guy Anger, he is a Fitchburg State alumnus, class of 82. He played for this Falcons team, and he was a former assistant for this Fitchburg State team. He was with the Falcons from 1987 to 1990 as an assistant under Dean Fuller before he took the head coaching job with Framingham State for the first time. And so this is really, I think, the best game, the best date, if you will, to do what we're doing here today.
We have been beating around the bush, so to speak, the elephant in the room, as we'll see the Falcons take the ice in their purple jerseys. It is all part of Terry McNabb's game here at the Wallace Civic Center. Terry McNabb, of course, victim of Alzheimer's disease, his family using this game to raise awareness, raise funds for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, and as part of that effort, the Falcons will be wearing purple, and all proceeds from tonight's game will be donated to that very worthy cause.
Yep, Terry McNabb, a longtime volunteer assistant coach for Fitchburg State University, helped do a lot of things to help build that great Falcon dynasty of the 90s, where they won several ECAC championships. He did all the little things, all the intangibles, a lot of recruiting, a lot of great, wonderful things to help this program flourish in the 90s and help bring Coach Fuller to that very high mark. As we mentioned, only a handful of coaches have ever won as many games as him at the Division III level. And Terry McNabb was part of that as well.
And absolutely, and in addition to being an exemplary part of the Falcon hockey program, McNabb was just a pillar of the community. Of course, McNabb Pharmacy, anyone who spends any time in Townsend. My mother actually worked in Townsend for a number of years. I've been in McNabb Pharmacy many times. It is an institution in that community, and it's just so great to be here, to be able to honor that, and again, to raise money for the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
And of course, it's worth noting that Lunenburg, actually.
Why don't we deck out here, and we'll hand you over to the public address announcer for these ceremonies.
A freshman from Owatonna, Minnesota, number 14, Brody McDougall. A freshman from Morgan, Vermont, number 10, Ryan Paul. A freshman from Syracuse, New York, number 12, Matt Siegel. A freshman from Waltham, Massachusetts, number 20, Brandon Hamden. In goal, a junior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, number 31, Adam Calabresi. The head coach for Framingham State in the 8th season is Guy Anger. He is assisted by Mike Bailey and Corey Contra. And now the starting lineups for your Fitchburg State Falcons. On defense, a senior from New City, New York, number 5, Evan Burns. A junior from Killeen, Texas, number 10, Josh Victor. At forward, a freshman from Cloton, Switzerland, number 11, Sasha Figge. A junior from Walcott, Connecticut, number 18, Nick DiNicola. A sophomore from Cranston, Rhode Island, number 20, Christopher Vicario. And in goal from Worcester, Massachusetts, number 29, Brian McGrath. The head coach for Fitchburg State in his 34th season is Dean Fuller. The assistant coaches are Michael Sevigini, Vincent Giambroco, Tom Patty, and Chris Klein. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand for the singing of our national anthem, sung today by Harmonic Velocity, Fitchburg State's own a cappella group.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, stripes and bright stars, perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, rockets' red glare, bursting in air, proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Danny Bolak, and it is Terry McNabb's game here at Wallace Civic Center. And let's head to center ice for the ceremonial dropping of the puck. If you're just joining us here on FATV, the Falcons are wearing purple jerseys tonight. That is the color of Alzheimer's disease research. The Falcons will be in the purple and white. Framingham State in the white trimmed with gold.
Yep,
I gotta say, Dan, those are pretty snazzy jerseys.
They really are. I think they're the best of the charity jerseys we've seen over the years. And I love how they came out. The white numbers and the white trim just all pops in the purple. And for Framingham, I know those are a new set of jerseys they have. Their home white uniforms that they're wearing on the road today with the old Nashville Predator style little trim, plus a little black on the top and bottom for extra trim, just to accentuate the colors of black and gold that is Framingham State in what is a battle of the FSUs tonight.
There is a fantastic crowd here on hand at the Civic Center, but there is still plenty of room in the seats. So if you are in the Fitchburg area, we absolutely encourage you to come on down John Fitch Highway, get 3 periods of college hockey under your belt. But if you know someone who's out of town, someone in Framingham, or indeed anywhere there is internet access, we encourage you to go to fatv.org. And of course, this game, as with all games, will be streaming live.
Absolutely, and I think the tickets will also get you into the game afterwards, which is Lunenburg and North Middlesex.
Absolutely.
High school game afterwards between 2 very solid teams in Central Mass.
And that was actually also put together as part of this night celebrating Alzheimer's research. So we're looking forward to that contest as well. But we have college hockey first, and with the play-by-play action of the first period, here's Danny Bolek.
Thank you very much, John. Sasha Figge to take the draw for the Falcons, looking to match up against Ryan Paul. See, it is Walker Hamilton, Ryan Paul, Matt Siegel, Soren Kallstrup, Brandon Hammer, the starting skaters for the Framingham State Rams, and now Adam Calabrese getting his 7th start of the season in goal for the Rams. And for the Falcons, Evan Burns and Josh Victor on defense. Chris Vicario slotting in at the right wing as Tyler Orilla out with an injury today, but we think he might be back next week. Nonetheless, the Falcons will get on without him today as we are underway from Fitchburg, as that's chipped in, flicked along by Brandon Hammer into the zone, up the right wing boards. Falcons having trouble controlling it, and there's a shot from the right circle turned away by Brian McGrath. Now into the left side boards as 3-4 players try to dig it out. It is Hammer who wins the puck for the Rams, puts it on goal, but it's behind the net, picked up by Paul on the right side, turned around by Siegel to the left wing corner, where Evan Burns will pick it up for Vicario. Vicario fighting along the boards, and a shot put on towards goal by Siegel. It's stopped by Brian McGrath. He'll cover it down, and now the Rams, they've changed lines. Tyler Calaccio will take a shot from the right side. He makes the save, juggled the rebound a little bit, but he's able to get on top of it and cover it for a draw with Janello right in front of him.
51 seconds into this game, Dan, and Framingham State has controlled the pace. 3 quick shots right off the drop of the puck.
Absolutely, and for Framingham State, I mean, they can't make the playoffs anymore, so they're playing for pride these last 4 games, and they want to show that they've got a little more fight left in them, that they're not out of steam just because they're out of playoff contention. As the Falcons get into the zone, a backhand chance for James Gordon, couldn't get much on it, as Zerbe goes to the right wing corner for Ricky Kramer, but it'll be picked up by the Rams. Michael Janello on the right side, now ascended to the boards. Tyler Calaccio along, looking for Jake Sartorelli. Sartorelli able to stick it along, and that is Jack Sheehan on the right side. Puts it towards goal, and McGrath will have that. Just a minute 18 gone, and already the Rams coming out strong.
Framingham State pressing the advantage, keeping the puck in the Falcon defensive end, and they are peppering McGrath with shots here in the early going.
I know one of the things that I've seen out of this Framingham State team this year is that despite the 3-win record, it's like some nights they show up, and when they show up, they're tough to beat, but other nights they have not been able to do so, as a shot taken by Patrick Germain is deflected over Adam Calabrese and into the netting out of play. One of those examples of a game where Framingham, I would say, showed up was the last time these two teams played on January the 18th. That was a 6-4 win for Fitchburg down at Loring Arena in Framingham, but the Rams really had to fight. I mean, the Falcons really had to fight to come away with the 2 points in that one. As that one turned towards goal, but Calabrese able to stop it. Now Germain in the left wing corner for the Falcons. Muscled into the boards by McDonough. Germain will go to the right point. Kept in by Josh Saboyu. Around the boards, tried to be stick down behind the net by Fretz. He'll get it now, but McDonough getting his stick in the business. Now Corey Hayashi. Hayashi trying to move it along, but taken by Soren Kallstrup. Kallstrup gains the red line and backhands it in as the Rams want to change lines. McGrath gets it along for Hayashi, who will bring it out from behind his own net up to the near side boards, along for Eklund. Can only get to his own blue line before Jake McKinnon intercepts. McKinnon backhands into the zone, where it'll be taken behind the net now by Saboyu and around the boards. Falcons trying to break out. They get to the red line. This is Eklund. He'll turn around, just dump it in. The Falcons need fresh legs.
Eklund kind of overskated that one. Falcons had a chance for a counterattack and couldn't capitalize.
Colin Sheehan now going D-to-D with Spencer Segee. Knocked into the zone and sent back. Retrieved by Segee at his own blue line. We'll go back for Sheehan.
Is that one of those things they say in announcer class to train you? D-to-D with Spencer Segee. If you can say that 5 times fast, you're good?
I never took announcer class. All self-taught. That's how I'm going to get out of that one. Shot from the top of the slot, deflected off the stick of Jack Pearson and out of play. Pearson took the original shot off a Falcon stick. Regardless, face-off will be to one side of Brian McGrath. 2:57 gone in this game.
I mean, I'm one to talk. My announcer class was sitting next to Todd Robinson just trying to get a word in. I love you, Todd.
My announcer class was just calling games for the Falcon Sports Network from 2010 to 2016. All learning on the job. I think it's turned out pretty well for me. Draw one by Sartorelli, gets a shot on, turn towards goal, and right out in front. And McGrath had to stick with that one as that changed direction at least once. That goes off the stick of Di Nicola and into the Falcons bench.
That puck looked like it got caught up in the skates of Brandon Hamner of Framingham State, and Hamner found himself alone in front of goal with the puck at his feet, maybe 18 inches from the net, and he couldn't just capitalize on it.
You know what? I've just realized his name is Hamner, not Hammer. But Hammer would be such a cooler name, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yep. Draw taken by the Falcons as Victor runs into one of the Rams defensemen as another Ram tries to pick that up on the near side boards, but pulled out by the Falcons to their own blue line, but pushed back into the zone by Calaccio. Behind the net, Framingham playing tough. Really not giving the Falcons a lot of chances to get out of their own zone. It's really giving the Falcons fits right now. Michael Ginello behind the net. Now for Calaccio with Burns on him. That pass misses the stick of Derek Ridgway, comes all the way down the ice, and Calabrese will have to get out of the net and play it along for Sartorelli. Sartorelli sends it down the ice, and that is going to be, that was considered sufficiently in the range of Saboyu, so icing is waived. Saboyu holds in the right wing corner, both teams changing lines. Holding behind the net still is Saboyu. Now one of the Rams coming to try to force him to play it along. And again, Fitchburg having trouble getting it out of their own end. But this time they're able to take the puck, bring it to the red line, dump in from Saboyu. A dump in chase. Rams will get there first around the boards. Could not be kept in by Dean Zerby. That'll go all the way down, and McGrath will have to come out and play that.
Framingham State has been very aggressive. The Falcons' best chances have come on the counterattack.
Falcons still don't have a shot on target. You can change that right now, I believe, as Dean Zerby able to take the shot from the top of the right circle, and it's gloved by Calabrese.
Defensively, Dan, I don't think the Falcons were ready for the tight, aggressive coverage that they're seeing from Framingham State. Framingham State is not letting anything go. They are going for every advantage they can. Offensively, as I said, that presents some counterattacking opportunities for the Falcons.
One of the questions, though, that I've got is, can they sustain that for 60 minutes? That's a very high tempo that they're playing at. And that's going to be one of the challenges, to try to keep that endurance up and see if they can actually play for 60 minutes like that. Puck goes off a Falcon stick in the neutral zone and sails all the way into the glass, stays in play. Rams have to bring it out of their own zone. And now in front, Germain with a chance, and a stop made by Calabrese.
Great save there by Calabrese. Germain was point blank, and he was denied.
There's Brendan Williams up the left side. He gets the shot off, sticked away by McGrath and into the netting and out of play. 14:55 to go in the first. Shots 5-2 in favor of Framingham. And I want to point something out about Adam Calabrese. He catches with his right hand, which is very, very rare for goaltenders.
That is rare.
I would say about 1 in every 20 goaltenders catches with their right hand. Either because, you know, you see the right hand as your dominant hand and you want that to be your stick hand, or some other nature. But now there's a chance out in the slot, but Siegel not able to get on top of that one for Framingham.
Matt Siegel, the freshman, had an opportunity, couldn't capitalize on it.
It is worth pointing out there are a lot of freshmen and sophomores on this Framingham State roster who have used 33 different players this season. Rams will try to bring it up ice on the right side. Pass too strong for Siegel. Will go behind the Falcon net. McPherson and Saboyu get there from Fitchburg around the board. Sartorelli gets a stick on it. That's played along and legally by the Falcons, but goes to center where it's going to be dumped right back in by the Rams. McPherson from behind his own net will try to find Vicario on the near side. He's pushed into the boards by Ginello. Fitchburg trying to move the puck along. They get it to the red line. Sartorelli out to the right side. And that is Ginello again trying to get in on the play. He's been sticking his nose in a lot of places early on in this contest. We're just 6 minutes in. in the neutral zone, picked up by Ridgway. A stick goes flying out of the hands of Brandon Eklund. He'll go and retrieve it. As the puck makes its way towards Calabrese, he'll just stick it along. Out to the near side for Jack Sheehan. Out to the right wing corner. Falcons have it from Kevin Perry, but he's double teamed by the Rams. But Perry doing his best to keep it alive. And now Eklund, who had the winner on last Saturday against Plymouth State. One of the Rams blows a tire and falls to the ice. That's Janello. Maybe he should be getting off for a line change, because I think
Janello's been on the ice for a long time.
Yeah, wouldn't you think that that's a sign that you're running out of gas? But he still goes and persists nonetheless. Takes a shot that deflects wide to the left of McGrath. A shot from the left point, again sticked away by McGrath. Long breakout pass trying to catch Perry, intercepted by a Ram. But now second chance following on is Gordon. He takes the shot, blockered away by Calabrese.
That opportunity opened up as Janello was heading to the bench. Framingham State found themselves temporarily shorthanded.
And Kallstrup able to take that off the stick of a Falcon, get a shot off. But McGrath there to make his 7th save of the night. And now this is Gordon, drops it off. Backhand pass from Kramer, tries to find Zerbe. Will go to the left side for Gordon now to Evan Burns. Loses it off his stick. Burns had a goal on Saturday night against Plymouth State, his first of the campaign. Now it comes back to Burns at the right point. Tries to get to the right circle, but taken by the Rams, trying to spring a breakaway here for Jake McKinnon. But the Falcons just a bit quicker, and Josh Chaboyu able to break it up with his stick.
Great stick work there by the Falcons. If they miss that by just a little bit, it's a penalty shot. Instead, it's a simple defensive stop.
And now another shot from Kallstrup is deflected out of play. 12-11 to go in the first. No score. Shot 7-4 in favor of Framingham.
Framingham State, as you said, has been playing a high-tempo attack on both sides of the rink. Any stoppage in play is a chance for the Falcons to just take a breath.
Draw will come to the right of McGrath. And the draw controlled by the Rams. Sartorelli with a wind and fire that sails high and wide. Played off the boards by Fretz, trying to find Hayashi, but taken away by Siegel. On the far side, boards now picked up by the Falcons, and Germain rushing up ice. Patrick Germain on the left side, drops off, looking for a shot, blockered up in the air by Calabrese. Picked up by Saboya on the right wing boards. Looking for a centering pass, trying to find Kevin Perry. He'll pick it up behind the net. That gets caught up in the boards as Brody McDougal plays it along on the far side. Rams might have numbers, and big time here. This is Paul leading the chase. Paul with the shot, he scores!
Framingham State's aggression pays off as they take the lead halfway into this first period.
It's Ryan Paul, the freshman, with his 5th goal of the season. And the Rams, they strike first. And the Falcons, like they've had to do so many times this year, are going to have to play from behind. They've conceded the first goal for the 8th time this season. Actually, the 10th time this season, excuse me. Can I math? The 11th. I didn't.
The Falcons are trailing.
Typos. This is only the 7th time this year that the Falcons. Oh, let me try this again. This is the 7th time this year that Framingham State has scored first. They're 1-4-1 when they do.
Well, you know.
Yep. As for the Falcons, this is the 11th time they've. Ooh, nice glove save by Calabrese on the shot from Figgy. This is the 11th time the Falcons have conceded the first goal. That doesn't seem right. I don't think I've mathed right there either. But regardless, the Falcons have a very strong record when they concede the first goal. They're actually almost more comfortable playing from behind. So 11-10 to go in the first period, and Ryan Paul has his 5th goal of the season for Framingham State. As that aggressive play from the Rams, it pays dividends. Here's Burns from his own blue line, finding Vicario. Now for Figgy. Figgy brings it into the zone on the right side. And now it's Dina Cola, nifty moves, and he equalizes just like that!
There was a scrum here at the near side boards, and then Dina Cola emerged from it with the puck, and all of a sudden he was one-on-one with Calabrese, and he put it in the back of the net.
And you see the moves from Nick Dina Cola. Forehand, backhand, forehand. Dekes Calabrese out of his skates. He doesn't have a prayer on that. And Dina Cola's got his 10th of the season. And just like that, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Well, that's what I was saying. The Falcons, for some reason, they seem to play a little better when they're starting from behind, as if spotting that lead really does help them because it gives them a bit of a head check there. And they know they need to respond because you're playing from behind, but now you've leveled it and you've got a new hockey game. Less than a minute after the Rams got the first goal.
Scored by number 18, Nick DiNicola.
It was just a fantastic bit of skate work by DiNicola. The puck emerged from a massive bodies, and he just deked two men out of the way. He had an open net, and he took advantage of it.
So, 1-1 the score as we reach the halfway point in this period as Eklund tries to get it around to Hillick. Comes off his skate, and now the Rams try to come back from McKinnon. McKinnon trying to push it up for Kallstrup. Into the left wing boards. You can see the fight for it there, and the Falcons will emerge with the puck. They get it to the blue line, get it out of the zone. Rams have to reset, and the delayed offsides will allow them to change lines. As Fitchburg picks it up here, this is Gordon. Gordon going to his right. Try to wrap around. That's a nifty centering pass for Kramer, just not quite in the right spot to get it on his stick. Go right out of the corner. Now Sheehan will try to watch that one and prevent the breakaway at least. But now getting around him is Brandon Hamner. Behind the net it'll go. And they'll fight for it behind the Falcon goal. As Paul looks to pass it around, that one knocked off a stick into the netting, out of play. 9:09 to go in the first period. It's Fitchburg 1, Framingham 1.
Conceding that goal has done nothing to change Framingham's attack. They are still all-out aggression. We'll see if they can maintain that throughout the rest of this game.
46 seconds separating those two goals. Ryan Paul's fifth from Brody McDougall at 8:27, and Nick DiNicola's 10th from Sasha Figge and Chris Vicario at 9:13. Quick strikes from both sides to tie this game up, so neither goalie will have a shutout today. In fact, for McGrath, he got his first, well, actually, a couple of chances for Fitchburg there. As I was going to say, McGrath, he got his first career shutout against Framingham earlier this season. That was a 4-0 win for the Falcons. Now Sheehan keeps it in with his skate. Pushes into the left wing corner. Now Gordon tries to pick that one up. Can't get it along to a Falcon, and skating up ice is Brendan Williams. Williams on the left side boards gets a shot off. Easy stop for McGrath, who had the 5 holes shut before the puck even got close to him. And he holds for a draw. So again, 8:33 to go in the first period. And as we mentioned, these two teams, they both concede about 40 shots a game, so we're gonna have a lot of those today. And the Falcons are indeed 6-2-2 when they concede the first goal. But now that deficit no longer an issue, as they've tied it. Bad angle shot is gloved by McGrath, who's already got his 9th save of the contest. So worth for DiNicola, top 10 nationally in points per game. And it's moves like that that helps put him up there. The junior for the Falcons from Wolcott, Connecticut, just playing incredible hockey this year. So he's up to now 32 points on the campaign, as a blast from Fretz on the left side boards is gloved by Calabrese.
Now, Dan, as we advance into the second half of this first period, the tempo of the game has slowed down a little bit. Teams are content to just pepper the goaltenders with shots and hope they make mistakes.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned for Framingham, they start with that high tempo offense, but the question is, can you keep it up for 60 minutes? That's always the challenge. And sometimes you just see teams, they start out strong and aggressive, and they look like they can hang with anybody, like in a heavyweight fight, but then by round 5, they've already started puckering out, teetering on the edge, and it's only a matter of time before they fall. That seems to be the thought that comes to mind when I see a team come out like this. Can they actually keep it going for 60 minutes? Remember, you can't win, the game does not end just because you get a big lead in the first 10 minutes or something like that. There is no such thing as a first-round knockout in college hockey.
That is true.
You've got to play the whole 60 minutes and maybe more. Nick DiNicola picks it up from the red line, brings it into the zone. He's already got that goal, but he stood up there by the Rams defenseman, that being Walker Hamilton. Up on the right side for Paul. Paul shakes off a check, going right to goal, and McGrath with the glove save. He just makes it look easy, doesn't he?
McGrath did not believe for a second that Paul was going to get rid of that one. He had Walker Hamilton right there, elected to take the shot himself, and McGrath was able to, was equal to the challenge. That was the turn of phrase I was trying to use.
Absolutely, and remember, Brian McGrath, he played for the Boston Junior Bruins. He played with a handful of keepers over his time with the Junior Bruins who are playing Division I hockey, and he was putting up numbers just as good as they were. I mean, he's got the chops to play at that level, and that's part of the reason he's helped this Falcon team so much this year. He's just played so well, and he's got those abilities that he's acquired over the years by playing with some of the best young men of his age group. That puck hits the ceiling and goes out of play. About 25 feet of vertical real estate there.
It doesn't come up that often, but there is a pretty low ceiling here at the Civic Center compared to most hockey arenas.
Yeah, a little bit. Probably one of the reasons why you don't see a scoreboard hanging at center ice. You just see one at the end.
I'm trying to imagine a Jumbotron hanging over the ice. They'd have to duck to skate under it, wouldn't they?
I mean, if you're thinking about one of those Jumbotrons they built in one of those big facilities, like maybe, I don't know, the Cowboy Stadium. Could you imagine?
Oh my God, could they fit the Jerrytron in this building?
That's a good question. 6:35 to go in the first. 1-1 the score out. Wow, a redirect chance in front. And Jack Sheehan right on the doorstep, and McGrath was able to stay with him.
Great job there by McGrath. Sheehan was right on top of him, the instant deflection, but McGrath was able to keep the puck out of the net.
Already 11 saves for the young man from Worcester, Brian McGrath. And we remain level at a goal apiece. Falcons move it from behind their own net, and now Sasha Figge. No, that's Kevin Perry, excuse me. Perry will send it around the boards. Calabrese can't stop it and let it go for McKinnon, who will play it along. Soren Karlstrup, who's from Minnesota, but he's got one of those distinctively Norwegian names. I mean, Scandinavian names, but maybe Norwegian as well. Now it is Saboyu for McPherson. Hillick from the red line flicks it on. Won't be icing, so the dump and chase is on. And there's going to be a penalty called there as Perry sent one of the Rams into the boards.
Kevin Perry left his skates and leaped at a Ram. Absolutely crushed him against the boards. You can't do that.
Charging is going to be the call. 2 minutes for that. And that's our first penalty of the game at 14 minutes and 7 seconds. So now we see a Rams power play that has been, they're not great. And
take a look again. There you see Perry, as we said, leaving his feet and delivering a vicious shoulder block into his opponent. Gets sent to the box for that one.
Charging was the one they chose to give, but they could have called a few different penalties. Regardless, that will be charging 2 minutes. And the Rams get their first power play. They are 12% on the season, 11-4-92. That is last in the conference in the bottom 10 nationally. For the Falcons, their kill is best in the conference, 88.5%, and in the top 10 nationally. What I'm saying here is I don't expect a goal, but it'd be a surprise. You never know what happens. And there's a nice shot there for Paul, but that's blocked out in front, and the Falcons will clear it down the length of the ice.
That was almost the quintessential curse of the broadcaster. As the words "I don't expect a goal" were leaving your lips, there was a one-timer, and I fully expected it to go in the net. It didn't happen.
Yep. I mean, I'm the type of guy who encourages the announcers' curses, as you may have learned over the years. I don't really believe in them.
Really, because I'm the one who swears on the air more than you. Oh, that curse.
Yes, that curse. And Colin Sheehan nearly had a chance at a breakaway, but he lost an edge. Still, 50 seconds to go on the power play. As here's Paul back into the zone. The goal scorer for the Rams tonight, spun out of the puck by Colin Sheehan. On the near side boards, Fitchburg able to pick it up and spit it down the length of the ice. You can see on your screen now 35 seconds to go on this power play.
Really want to give a shout out to the incredible crew at FATV, always going above and beyond to bring the very best production quality to these events.
Oh, you bet. We still have 20 seconds on this power for Framingham State. Behind the net, McKinnon pushed into the boards by Saboyu. Looking to try to spring the puck free, and the Rams do just that. They get it to Hamilton at the point. Now Ridgway, he takes a shot. That was deflected in front, but McGrath able to make the stop on that one. Falcons dump it down, and just like I was predicting earlier, there was no goal on this power play.
Okay, fine, you were right.
Just one time, but hopefully they've got plenty of time for it to bite back later. Ryan McDonough around the boards, stopped by McGrath, and Evan Burns gets there first for the Falcons. Flicking it along, looking for Sasha Figge, but Jack Sheehan gets the puck first for the Rams. Rams knock it to center where it's taken by Segui. Offsides is going to be called as the puck had re-entered the zone, and the Falcon who had made the play on it had not exited the zone at that moment. 3:27 to go in the first. Shots are 13-9 in favor of Framingham State as the face-off comes at center ice as they rule a little bit of intention on that offsides. And Burns will touch this one up. I'll take a few seconds off the clock and bring the face-off down a little bit. To the right of McGrath. Again, a very good first period, I think, for Framingham State. I think Coach Angers would be happy with his team's performance thus far.
Oh, absolutely. Framingham State has been aggressive. Frankly, they've been the more aggressive team. Unfortunate for them that they only have one goal to show for it.
Of course, they have to face one of the best goalies in the conference in Brian McGrath as Hayashi tries to get a shot off. It's blocked out in front. Good plays there by Ryan Paul, getting in front, not letting him get that opportunity. Falcons regain the zone, and it is Hayashi with a shot, a save by Calabrese, a juicy rebound. No Falcon immediately there to get a handle on it. Rams knock it to the neutral zone. Falcons send it back in, but they have to tag up, and at this point, it'll just be better to change the lines. Falcons will do just that, and on the near side, springs off the boards onto the stick of James Gordon, who will go for McPherson. Off the boards, and now Zerby into the zone. He'll go behind the net. Gordon with a big hit into the boards as the Rams try to clear it out, bringing it up ice. That's Williams on the right side. Rams with a couple more personnel changes behind the play. Calaccio with the shot deflects into the netting and out. 2:08 to go in the first.
Good work by Joshua Saboyu on defense there for the Falcons. For a second, it looked like the Rams had a shot on goal, but he was able to get the stick in there right at the last second, deflect that one up into the netting.
Again, surprising how strong Framingham has come out. Again, playing for pride. They've been knocked out of playoff contention. A shot right off the draw goes just behind the net. On the left side, boards, Rams reverse direction, and a whistle. And it looks like cross-checking is going to be indicated here.
Penalty occurred away from the play, but it will be against Framingham State. So Fitchburg will close out the first period on the power play.
Brendan Williams taking his first penalty of his career, I believe, in just his 11th career game. 2 minutes for cross-checking, and the Falcons' 17.8% power play scored 4 times on the power last Saturday against Plymouth State. That helped lead them to their 7-5 victory. All of them coming on major penalties as well. As DiNicola winds and fires, that was deflected in front and went just wide to the left. Now comes back to DiNicola, who gets into the left circle, goes to the right side. There's an empty net for Figge to shoot at, and he just hit the side of the net.
If that puck was 6 inches to the left, it's a 2-1 game right now.
That close, couldn't quite get it. Falcons will try to reset here. Basically all forwards. The only semblance of a defenseman is Ricky Kramer, who was a defenseman last year, but not this year. Gordon plays it around the boards for DiNicola. Try to find Vicario in the left wing circle. Now the puck navigates out behind the net, and Figge will come up and take that one. He'll switch with DiNicola. We'll go to the point for Kramer. Top of the right circle, Figge now to Kramer, back for Figge. If the Falcons do not score before the end of this period, they'll start on the power play in the second as the shot deflects up in the air off the chest of Calabrese. Nearly ended up behind him, but just barely stayed out.
Calabrese had no idea where the puck was. Jake McKinnon cleared that one away.
Now a bad angle chance for James Gordon. Doesn't get much on that one. Goes back to the point. Kramer now left side. Now Figge in the slot. Takes a shot, deflects over the net. but stays in play. Now to the left wing corner. Vicario tries to get there first. Sartorelli around the boards to the right side. Rams will look to clear, and they just sent it into their own bench. That would be a penalty in the NHL, but not in college hockey. It's not unless the official thinks you absolutely did that on purpose.
This is such a tough situation for Framingham State. They came out of the blocks so aggressive, used a lot of energy, and now right at the death of the first period, they have to hold on, stop a power play for another 15 seconds to go into the locker room's time.
And now Fretz with a shot right out in front. Puck is loose. Hillick can't turn around, but there's another rebound chance, and Evan Burns has his second goal in as many games to give the Falcons a 2-1 lead.
Evan Burns from New City, New York, former member of the New Jersey Rockets, gives the Falcons a 2-1 lead here at the end of the first period.
This is Evan Burns' 98th career game, just his 5th career goal. And it comes near the end of the first period to try to put the Falcons in front. After Calabrese made a stop, the rebound popped out to the left circle, and Burns able to fire it home. Buzzer sounds before the Falcons can get one more chance. But for as strong as Framingham played, to think Fitchburg came away from this first period of 20 minutes with a 2-1 advantage.
I mean, up until those last 15 seconds, I would have said you have to be happy with this for both sides, really. On the Rams side, you get that early goal. For the Falcons, you manage to level it up. But now Fitchburg State goes into the locker rooms with all the momentum. We'll see if they can carry that out. Let's take a look at the 3 goals that were scored here in the first period. This is the opener scored by Framingham State.
Yep, that was Paul as part of that odd man rush. Look at all the options he had to pass to. So McGrath had to be aware of all of those in the end. Just too much to think about, and Paul was able to snipe it past. But then just 46 seconds later, you'll see a wonderful individual effort. This is Sasha Figge, gets it along, and look at these moves by Nick DiNicola to equalize. That made it a 1-1 game. And then, as we just saw a few moments ago, Fretz gets the initial shot. Hillick turns around, gets another chance on the puck, squirts free to the left side, and it's picked up by Evan Burns, who again, he doesn't score very often, just his 5th career goal in nearly 100 games of action. And for all of that, Fitchburg comes ahead 2-1 at the end of 1 period of play.
Hockey Night in Fitchburg continues here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bolak. And Dan, as you can see on the board there, Fitchburg State leads Framingham State by a score of 2-1.
Yes, but it wasn't always like that. I mean, in terms of how this game started, the first half of the game thus far that we've seen was really dominated by Framingham State. They racked off a whole boatload of shots to open this game. Really had a lot of chances, and they got the opening strike from Ryan Paul, but Fitchburg able to bounce back, answering just under a minute later, and we're going to get those highlights to you.
Actually, why don't we take a look at the 3 goals that were scored in the first period right now. As you said, the first goal for Framingham State, that's Ryan Paul, number 10, just keeps it in himself. A nice shot from the left side, gets it in the back of the net. Framingham State pressed the advantage early, and they took the 1-goal lead. But then, as you said, Danny, Fitchburg State answered immediately. Less than 1 minute left. You've got a scrum for the puck here. And then 18, Nick DiNicola gets out of it with the puck, gets away from one man, beats the goaltender, puts it in the back of the net, and he's a little pumped up. The fans are a little pumped up. He jumps into the boards for good measure. And then 1-1 in the dying moments of the first period. Shot on net is blocked there. Fitchburg State gets away with the puck, and you take it from there, Dan.
Yep. Evan Burns getting his 2nd goal of the season, just his 5th career tally, the senior from New City, New York. 98th career game, just his 5th career goal. He's now scored in back-to-back contests for Fitchburg State, and that put them over the top in this first period, giving them a 2-1 lead.
And if you're just joining us either at home in Fitchburg or online at FATV.org, you might be a little confused about why the Falcons are wearing the purple jerseys. That is because tonight's game is all in memory of Terry McNabb. Terry McNabb, a longtime pillar of the community here at North Central Massachusetts, owner of McNabb Pharmacy in Townsend, passed away due to Alzheimer's disease, unfortunately, and today's game is for the Walk to End Alzheimer's disease research, and purple is the color, so that's why the Falcons are wearing purple tonight.
Yep, for Terry and Bette McNabb's game, we've talked about how big a contributor Terry McNabb was to the Falcons back in the day, helping do all the things off the ice, helped with video recording, helped with recruiting, made a lot of drives to get a lot of good players, was one of those pillars of the Falcons team, helped get them to those conference championships they won in the 90s. What a great contributor he was.
Terry was a coach at Fitchburg State University. His sons played hockey at Fitchburg State University. His son Colin played hockey at North Middlesex. And after this game, for those in the Fitchburg area, there will be another game, Lunenburg taking on North Middlesex, two towns that obviously have very close ties to the McNabb family. And all of us here at FATV certainly send along our best wishes, and we congratulate the Falcons, really, for putting on this game in honor of Terry McNabb and Alzheimer's research.
Yep, all the proceeds in today's game going to that. And, of course, for the Falcons, the biggest thing they want to take from this is to come away with the victory to send the hometown fans home happy.
Absolutely. And one period in the books, a 2-1 lead. The Falcons are a third of the way toward accomplishing that goal. What do you think Fitchburg State needs to do if they want to hold on to this advantage?
Well, part of it is definitely trying to weather the storm for Framingham. They've had about 20 minutes to rest up now, thanks to the children's hockey game, the 15-minute intermission. They've had 20 minutes to refill their tanks. And you have to think Framingham's going to come out as tenacious as they did at the first period, how strongly they played, getting the opening advantage, getting the first several shots of the game, getting a lot of the opening chances. And for Fitchburg, I think part of it's going to be weathering the storm, because we saw them slowly take control of the period as it went on. And you have to think for Framingham State, they can only keep up that high tempo, high octane offense for so long.
That's it. Framingham State came out of the blocks like a missile. They were firing on all cylinders, skating as fast as they could up and down the ice. And really, for the first 5-10 minutes of the first period, Dan, it didn't look like Fitchburg State had much of an answer. They were able to get the quick equalizing goal, but Framingham State really controlled the pace of the game for the first 5 or 10 minutes of this game. But as the period went on, as their legs got a little heavy, the Rams could not keep up with the Falcons, and Fitchburg State wound up taking a 2-1 lead right at the end of that period.
And you have to think, we talked about how happy we would think that Guillanger would be happy with this team late in the first period, that performance, but of course that didn't include the goal with 9 seconds to go in the period to make it 2-1.
We are ready for the second period of action here at the Wallace Civic Center, and with the play-by-play call, here is Danny Bolek.
Thank you very much, John. Falcons now going from right to left in the special purple uniforms, the Rams in the home white uniforms, because they have to make it not clash, because I don't think their normal black uniforms would look very good. Purple against black, I don't think so.
No, that would be a nightmare for us.
It would be a nightmare for everybody. So,
most importantly, us.
Indeed. So now the Rams will be going from left to right in this period. And they get a shot on there that's sticked away by McGrath, now into the left wing corner, and the Rams trying to dig it out on the right side. They've got Siegel and Hamner there. Falcons try to get it out of the zone, but kept in by Ridgway, and now brought to the red line where it bounces over the stick of Gordon. Rams try to come back in. This is Matt Siegel. Siegel gets a shot, and McGrath has plenty of time to size that up and glove that one. And even if he didn't stop it with the glove, it would have bounced off the Falcon and the clover on his chest.
It's like a batting practice fastball or the first warm-up pitch of a baseball game. It's right down the middle. It's a nice soft toss. You just got to catch it. And he did.
Just have to catch it, just get in front of it. No chance of going into the net there. McGrath just needed to be there. But nonetheless, the Falcons get it out of the zone on the near side. And Dina Cola off to the races, trying to pick up the loose. Actually trying to get to the puck, try to beat out the icing. But just getting to the hash marks first was Jake Sartorelli, and so icing will be called. Sartorelli is the captain of this Rams team, a senior defenseman. He is playing in his 50th career game today. So the draw comes to the left of McGrath, and a stalemate eventually controlled by Fitchburg. They'll play it off the glass, and Dina Cola on a puck that will not be icing this time. Again, not able to beat Sartorelli to the puck. He'll spit it down the ice, and this will be icing. With 1:15 gone in the second, the Falcons leading 2-1. Through one period, the Falcons have a 5-2 record when they lead after 20 minutes. The Rams are 1-11 when they trail after 20 minutes. So we mentioned the Falcons 6-2-2 this year when they concede the first goal, which they did, compared to a 6-4 record when they score the first goal. Again, this team plays hungry and plays better from behind. They're also 0-1 when nobody scores, which is as you would expect. And that was...
Nobody wins when nobody scores. That's a great pearl of wisdom there, Dan.
Yep. I only mentioned it because I got so crossed up in the first trying to... I thought my numbers betrayed me, but no, I did not make a typo. There was no mistake. Fitchburg and Salem earlier this year played to a 0-0 draw. Here's Dean Nicole. He's got a lot of space. He's going to drop it off. McPherson not able to get the shot off. Walker Hamilton getting his stick in there and falling down. A shot taken by Vicario. And Adam Calabrese able to stop that one for a draw.
Walker Hamilton, we've called his name a lot on defense for the Rams. He was right there again, getting in front of that shot and stopping it from having its full velocity before the Ram goaltender made the save.
From Anchorage, Alaska, and he's a big guy, 6'3", 245 pounds. But yet very mobile on the ice. Here's Hayashi in the slot, and the shot is stopped by Calabrese with the glove. Like I said, probably only about 5% of goalies have their glove hand on their right. And Calabrese needed that right-hand catch to make that stop.
That save was all Calabrese. He had no help, but he was able to keep the deficit at 1.
Now a shot that's cut down in traffic, but makes its way to the front of Calabrese, and he just leaps on top of it and covers it.
It's been maybe 10 seconds of game action, and Adam Calabrese has had to scramble to make 3 saves already.
Already had to do a lot of work. And now we pause for a moment as one of the officials is talking with Evan Burns. But now whatever needed to be straightened out gets straightened out. And we return to play, as that is Hayashi loses it to Paul. Paul tries to get a shot off, cut down in front. Hamner can't get a stick on it for Framingham. Picked up at the red line by McDougall. Sends out to the far side in the neutral zone. Fitchburg doubling back into their own end. Now have to go behind the net as the pass misplayed by Sheehan. Into the left wing corner, Hayashi trying to retrieve. Pokes it along for Segui. Segui looking for Fretz on the left side, finds him, but Fretz can't quite get a hold on it. And it's sent right back into the Falcon end. Now they'll try to break out again. This is Hayashi up the near side. Had to get around the linesman. And that led to some troubles. The Falcons lose the puck. A shot on off the stick of McGrath. Nice chance for the Rams there. So now it comes to the neutral zone, and Fretz trying to push it along, but taken away. A 2-on-1 for the Rams. Shot on the left side. Saved by McGrath off the stick of Jack Sheehan.
A little bit of pushing and shoving after the play. Spencer Segui was not terribly happy with one of the Framingham State defenders, and he let his displeasure be known.
Draw to the right of McGrath as Tom Sawyer plays here at the Wallace Civic Center. Drawn taken by the Falcons, and Victor trying to push it along for Eklund, but again taken back and docked into the right-hand zone by Sheehan. On the left side boards, the Rams trying to control behind the net now. Framingham looking for a centering pass off a Falcon stick. I think that was Perry who got a piece of that one. And it just pinballs around on the far side. Hillick and now Burns. Got the go-ahead goal late in the first for Fitchburg. Drops back for nobody. And Perry has to double back and get that. Now Hillick gains his own blue line pass a little too strong. But Eklund trying to play it off the boards. Not going to go for icing. But the Rams get there first. Hillick able to pick that one up. Eklund in front trying to one-time it. But it just got away from his stick. And now a long stretch pass on the left side. This is Kallstrup with a shot and a save made by McGrath.
Josh Victor did great work on defense, just short-circuiting the momentum there for a moment.
Now Fitchburg trying to make some nifty passing moves to get into the Ram zone, maybe a bit too fancy. And a shot goes wide off the stick of McDonough. Another chance off the boards. McGrath makes the save. Juicy rebound. No Ram within 20 feet of it. They'll get to it first nonetheless. And Sartorelli in the right wing corner. Kallstrup also there. as this one is sent down the ice into the Framingham zone, and the Falcons with the long change will take it now. It's like Fitchburg has the long change, but the bench is sort of near back center for the visitors, so there's really no longer short change. It doesn't really feel like there's much of that. As Fitchburg has the numbers, but can they get the coordination? This is Zerby trying to get it along for Kramer. Didn't have it on the right side of the stick, wasn't in a shooting position. And now he finds Zerby, tries to put it into the slot, nobody there for Fitchburg. And the Rams trying to poke it up ice. They get it far enough for a line change. Well, they're going to get a couple people off. Now the Falcons dump in. Calabrese knocks it down, but Kramer gets to it first. Turnaround chance in front. Calabrese stops that one. And it comes out in front. Framingham coming back up the ice. And the shot there from Matt Siegel is stopped by McGrath with the glove. 14:40 to go in the second. Fitchburg 2, Framingham 1.
Framingham State has been a little more conservative with their offensive attack thus far in the second period, Dan. Early in the game, especially in the first 5 minutes of the first period, when they had the puck, they would throw 3 or even 4 men forward. On that attack, they just had the 1 man, and the rest of their team was hanging back.
On the far side boards, again, Fitchburg still having trouble getting it out of their own end. That's been something Framingham has done well in this contest. Saboyu brings it behind his own net, drops it back, but nobody is there. Ridgway's going to get there first for Framingham, plays it along the boards, and Saboyu will flick it along. Cannot be kept in by the Rams. Falcons have a 3-on-2. Up the right side, they get a pass. One-timer, score! Dina Cola on the tip makes it 3-1 Fitchburg.
Di Nicola's first goal was an individual effort, but this second one is set up by an incredible pass. Just a fantastic pass, get this puck into the net. All Di Nicola had to do was get his stick on it, and he did.
Second goal of the game for Nick Di Nicola, just gets the redirect.
And that's Chris Vicario, excuse me, Dan, Chris Vicario getting in there with the fantastic assist. Di Nicola just tips it into the net.
Good you caught Vicario on that one. I just never got a look at it. Now here is Di Nicola again, turns around, looking for a tip from Figgy in front. Just couldn't get his stick on it. Now the Falcons with a 2-goal lead as Calaccio can only get it to the red line, dumped back in by Figgy. Falcons swap up the lines. Sartorelli now to Adam Hosmer. On the near side now out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Colin Sheehan. Knocked into the zone, into the left wing corner. Fritz tries to get there first for Fitchburg, cannot do so. And the puck sails over the glass and out of play.
We mentioned several times now that Framingham State played a very aggressive offensive attack, and we wondered how they would be able to handle that from a stamina perspective. Now as we get into the second period here, you see Fitchburg State controlling the action more and more. And for the Rams, now they're playing from behind. Now they need to expend even more energy just trying to climb back into this one.
And now the challenge just becomes more and more, just becomes much more difficult for them to get back into this game. Now playing from 2 goals down. Long pass a bit too strong for Soren Kallstrup. It'll be picked up by Sheehan for Fitchburg. Goes off a Rams feet, back to Sheehan. He loses another handle on it, and Ryan McDonough brings it to the right side. Back for Kallstrup, cannot handle it, and Pat Germain gets there for Fitchburg. Pounds it off the boards, trying to find Fritz, but taken by the Rams and thrown back behind the Fitchburg net. Fitchburg still having some trouble getting it out of their own zone. Segui now to Sheehan. Now it's Germain. Germain picks it up, has it knocked off his stick. Fretz tries to follow on. Fretz into the zone, has some nifty moves. Fretz with the backhand hits the side of the net. Germain centers, tries to bank it off of Calabrese. Can't get that to go. The Falcons actually did score a goal last week by banking it off the opposing goalkeeper. So that's a move that can work, and it was, I believe, Josh Victor who was the happy party in that one. Here is Hayashi with some moves. Centering chance, one-timer, score! It's 4-1 Falcons. It might have been Eklund with the finish.
It was indeed Brandon Eklund, the junior from right here in Fitchburg, puts it in. And now, Dan, this game is getting out of hand in the Falcons' favor.
Brandon Eklund, who came who 7 days ago had 2 career goals, has now scored 3 from his last 2 games. And now a 4-1 lead for the Falcons.
And we'll take another look at this one. Great individual effort there, setting it up by Corey Hayashi, and then he finds Eklund, who puts it in the net.
The one-timer for Eklund, now his 3rd goal of the season, his 5th career goal in his 39th career game. The junior from Fitchburg has made it 4-1. Siegel backhands it in, looking for Paul. It goes out in front of the net, and getting right on top of that one is McGrath, and we may have penalties for the rough stuff after the whistle.
Understandable frustration for Framingham State. They scored the first goal, but have now surrendered 4 unanswered. And it's actually going to be Fitchburg State being sent to the penalty box here.
26 seconds.
That's Josh Victor, who will be penalized.
Victor, the junior defenseman from Killeen, Texas. He'll take his 13th penalty of the season, and the Rams will go on the power play for the 2nd time tonight, 0 for 1 thus far. A stalemate off the draw, eventually falling in favor of Framingham State, and it'll go out for Calaccio on the left side for Siegel, now for Paul. Paul behind, reversing direction. Thought about leaving it with Siegel, but kept it. Now goes to Siegel in the left wing corner. Brendan Hamner around the boards all the way to Walker Hamilton, who's the leading point getter for the Rams coming into today's game with 12 points. Tied with Ryan Paul, but Paul's taken that with that goal. Hamner gets a shot. Nicely struck there, but just a bit too high. On to the right side, and the Falcons will clear it, and it'll go all the way down. Of note, the Falcons kill. They've scored 5 goals on the opponent's power play this year, and the Rams have conceded 7 goals on their own power play this year as well. So just because the Rams have the man advantage doesn't mean that they're in the most prime of opportunities to score. As the Falcons bring it down the ice, and this is a one-on-one. This is Ricky Kramer trying to go to the goal, but strong enough defense by the one Ram right on him is able to break that up, and that was Jake McKinnon who was able to break up the play. McKinnon's going to take this right towards goal. Nifty move, he scores! Jake McKinnon on both ends of the ice makes it 4-2.
You said it, Dan. McKinnon did great work on the defensive end, breaking up the attack by Kramer. And then on the other side of the ice, he gets it alone in front of the net, beats a man with his stick, and then gets it into the net. We'll take it again here. Just really good skating there, gets around a Falcon defender, gets himself in front of the net, and is able to get the puck past Brian McGrath. And now it's a 4-2 game.
Breaks the streak of 4 consecutive goals scored by Fitchburg State, and that was 2 former Boston Junior Bruins there. McKinnon used to be part of that, so was Brian McGrath. May have been teammates at one point, I believe. It's a shot on, turned away by McGrath. And for McKinnon, that will be his 5th goal of the season, his 17th career goal in his 72nd career game for the senior from Framingham, of course. So each team's got a hometown boy who scored. A shot put on, stopped by McGrath. Easy enough stop for him. As we're 1 second short of halfway in this contest. It is Fitchburg 4, Framingham 2.
And both of the hometown scorers in the past few minutes are also former Boston Junior Bruins.
How about that? Draw taken by the Rams. Ridgway with a shot cut down in traffic. The Rams trying to recover, turn around. Paul not able to get the puck cleanly. Siegel looking for Paul, but finds Kyle Hillick instead. Cross-ice pass to try to break it out of the zone. Pinballs around eventually. Eklund and Paul coming together in front of the Falcons bench. And now dump back in McGrath along the boards. Ridgway intercepts. Eklund sticks it along. Paul doesn't get much on it, but it goes through enough legs to the point that it crosses up McGrath for a moment, but he's able to stick with it, batten down the hatches, and make the stop. 9:29 to go in the second, and it's a 4-2 game. Excitement here in Fitchburg. Draw will come to the left, and the draw taken by Calaccio, who gets a shot from the top of the right circle. But again, McGrath battening down the hatches. He makes another save.
It's been a busy night in goal for that man already, and it's only halfway done.
Now they'll try the same play again and gets more or less the same results. Another save to go to pin in the cap of Brian McGrath. As the Rams now, according to the big green scoreboard in the Civic Center, have 24 shots on goal, which means Brian McGrath has 22 saves. Here's Calaccio again, gets the pass off, goes through the legs of Jack Pearson. Fitchburg trying to bring it up, and that hops over the stick of Patrick Germain. Germain able to muscle it out of the zone, though, and the Rams will pick it up from Hamilton. Flicked along by Calaccio. Fitchburg trying to come back here from Fretz. Now this is Hayashi into the zone. Hayashi looking for an opening. He's going to circle around looking for a centering feed for Germain. Can't get a handle on it. Kramer will pick it up in the left wing corner. Kramer protecting the puck, but the Rams will take it, send it back to the neutral zone. Burns will take it on the pass from Victor. Fitchburg dumps it in. Kramer picks up off the boards for a one-timer chance. That was redirected late and away. Maybe he got a piece of the post. Fitchburg can't keep it in on the far side. Now it is Gordon. Along for Zerby, hops over his stick. It'll come to the near side to the Framingham State bench. And this is McKinnon now. Just got that goal for Framingham State. McKinnon on the right wing corner. Soren Kallstrup. But Victor will take it for Fitchburg. Now Zerby will backhand it down the ice. This will go for icing. No, it will not. They said Ridgway should have touched that. And Ridgway, I don't think, got the memo. He turns it over, but Fitchburg can't get the pass off.
We saw the near side linesman raise his hand for the icing, and then the one on the far side waved it off.
They felt that Ridgway had stopped trying for it. It's like, oh, you could have had that.
And they were right, he could have.
Yep, and Ridgway was sure that icing was going to be given, so he stopped playing. And then Kramer nearly was the beneficiary. Fitchburg gets it back in, but Figge not able to get a shot off. Now Framingham up to the red line. Lost it for a moment, got it back. And that is again Ryan Paul. Sheehan getting tangled up with Paul. Now Vicario around the boards to the far side.
Ryan Paul, like all members of his family, is an individualist, wants to do things himself. No teammates helping him.
Offside's called against Fitchburg, as somebody, I guess, had just jumped the line there. 6:49 to go in the second, 4-2 Fitchburg.
And you see, Dan, Framingham State is trying to keep the tempo up, but I think they're just getting tired. They're not having the same speed, the same explosiveness that we saw early in the first period. Fitchburg State has been able to contain the offensive attack, maintain more possession of their own, and it's reflected on the scoreboard.
Indeed, and that's one of the things I mentioned, they sort of refill the tanks during intermission, but I don't think the tanks are going to be topped up all the way. I don't think 15, 20 minutes of rest is enough to really top up the tanks, which means that players, when you're playing this high-tempo game, they're going to get more tired as the game goes on. So if they start sputtering, well, as the Fitchburg has a chance, but Perry can't complete that pass. But I guess they start sputtering at some point. Maybe I should wait until we have a whistle as Calabrese makes that stop. But what I want to say is this. If maybe a team starts running on fumes with about 4 minutes to go in the first, then you think maybe they'll start running on fumes 7 minutes to go in the second, 10 minutes to go in the third. Because, human nature and the like.
Absolutely.
I could just be talking out my behind, too, but you never know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
That's what we're here for.
Icing called against Framingham. 6:08 to go in the second.
Dan, if they didn't want people talking out of their behinds on TV, their play-by-play commentary wouldn't be an industry.
Perhaps not. The draw will be to the left of Adam Calabrese, who has made 19 saves tonight, but he's not on pace to knock down his goals against average from .590. And that's put towards goal, and Calabrese will stick that one away. Now Framingham will try to bring it up. They get it to the neutral zone, taken by Saboyu. Off the boards, trying to find Figge. Figge getting tied up with one of the Rams on the near side. Now McKinnon into the zone. He winds and fires. Glove saved by McGrath, and he'll hold and hold. And, yeah, the whistle blew already, right?
I didn't hear it, but everybody on the ice is acting as though there was one, so let's assume there was.
Yes, let us assume there was.
There it is.
A bit late.
Just a little.
5:48 to go in the second period. It's almost like, sometimes when they call the touchbacks in the end zone on kickoffs and they'll just blow the whistle immediately because they know you're not going to play it. Centering pass goes nowhere for Fitchburg. Framingham's got numbers coming back the other way. 3, maybe 4 on 2. As Kallstrup goes cross ice, McKinnon gets a shot off, but it's deflected high and wide.
Framingham State elected to stop and set up a play rather than just crash the net, and they weren't able to get anything out of that exchange.
Now McKinnon pinned against the penalty box by Gordon on the far side boards. A lot of challenging here for the puck, but eventually poked out by the Rams, and this is Siegel. He gets a shot off, saved by McGrath. Rebound pops back into the glove of McGrath, and he will hold. Only mildly dangerous rebound there, but McGrath able to make the best of it, get the cover and the draw. Hayashi to take the draw against Paul. They'll go behind the Falcon net. Fitchburg will control this draw, and Hayashi trying to hit that long stretch pass, trying to spring Pat Germain. But the Rams take it, and Paul with yet another shot in this game. We've seen him take a lot of shots in this contest, it seems. Trying to generate a lot of chances for the Rams, and of course he had the opening goal in this contest, so why not keep feeding it to him? Walker Hamilton making a pass, goes off a Falcon, and then finds a recipient in Paul. And now the Rams bring it up, and this is Siegel. Siegel getting a shot blocked out in front by Sheehan. That's Colum Sheehan for Fitchburg. And now some stick work there. Fritz trying to get back on side, does just so barely, but the Rams knock it back towards the Falcon end. Colum Sheehan from the red line, hit the ceiling. That's the second time we've had that happen today. Usually, sometimes you get 1 a game, 2 is a bit much.
It's a bit much.
Just got a little too much airtime on that. Would never be a problem in Framingham. They play in the Loring Arena, and it's an old barn with a very high ceiling. It's almost like an airplane hangar, except it's not a miniature airplane hangar. How about that?
It's not a full airplane coat hanger. It's more like an airplane pants hanger.
That would probably be a good way of putting it.
It's the worst joke I've ever told.
You try to make something out of it at least. On to the near side, Hillock got a stick on it. Kalakio put it off the skate of one of his teammates. Now he gets it on the stick of one of his teammates, and the shot taken, but McGrath makes the stop on Jack Sheehan. 3:44 to go in the second period.
Shots on goal 26-23 in favor of the Rams. McGrath has had to make a number of saves.
And as we established earlier, this is normal.
It is.
Yep. Yes, a normal goalie who's qualified for statistical purposes, that's playing a third of their team's minutes, concedes 31 shots a game. But McGrath often sees over 40. But this is normal for him. He is used to this workload, and he is playing well once again. It's part of how he has such a great save percentage. And now this is Di Nicola, who has to cut and stop to try to get around Brody McDougall.
Di Nicola looking for a hat trick.
Flip down the ice with the backhand, and they will rule icing against Framingham State. They thought that'd be good enough to get the line change, but no, sir, they will not have that.
That reminds me, where did you put your hat?
Where did I put my hat?
Yes. You know, just in case Di Nicola scores.
Ah, yes. I'm not throwing this.
Who said anything about you throwing it?
Like, I don't want to lose this hat. It's a good hat.
We'll get kicked out of the game.
On the right side, shot from the right circle, gloved by Calabrese. And once again, that's another one of those. Good thing he catches with his right hand, because if that was a blocker save, it might have been a juicy rebound instead.
That was a rocket of a shot from Sasha Figge. Freshman coming to us out of Cloten, Switzerland.
Yeah, his dad, Stefan, is actually a broadcaster in Switzerland. I imagine he's probably better at his job than we are at our jobs.
I've never heard
him either, but I'm just guessing, trying to be nice, and Figge banks it in off Calabrese and scores. Oh, he had Calabrese dead to rights. He didn't know where to go. Figgy play the one-timer. He got completely crossed up, and Figgy makes it 5-2.
I thought Figgy was going for a centering pass there.
I think that's what we all would have thought, but Calabrese got so frozen up, he just didn't know what to do with that. Now he doesn't know whether to cry or wind his watch. Thank you, Mike Lang. 5-2, Fitchburg in front. And for the second straight game, the Falcons have scored by banking it off the goalkeeper and in. A lot of things they were doing against Plymouth, they are doing here tonight, and it's working. And once again, the Falcons have broken the 5-goal barrier, a team that averages exactly 4 a game coming in. It'll be more than that now. They rule Figgy did it all by himself to get his 13th goal of the season for the 4-time MassCAC Rookie of the Week. Ridgway sends it in. I just like how the puck was riding the top of the boards and how McGrath just sort of nonchalantly paddled it back. Like no big deal. So under 2 minutes to go in this period. Falcons have scored 3 times to the Rams 1 to take a 5-2 lead. And this is Tyler Calaccio gaining the blue line. Pass off to the far side. Rams having trouble figuring out what to do with that, and Fitchburg will come back 2-on-2 the other way. This is Germain. Germain gets a shot saved by Calabrese. Rebound banks off Calabrese, but he holds that side firm. And now Hayashi. Hayashi looking for somewhere to go, but the people behind him were changing off. Can't pass to them.
Hayashi having trouble just getting back to his skates.
And now Calaccio has it poked off of his stick. Falcons try to come back the other way, but Sartorelli will intercept the pass. Sartorelli sends it back in, and now Victor will get there first for Fitchburg. Now off the boards for Hayashi, trying to play it along to Fretz, but intercepted by Matt Siegel. Siegel turns around, shoots, saved by McGrath. Juicy rebound, no Ram there. Fitchburg storming back the other way. And that's going to be one of the more obvious tripping calls you'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can add as a color commentator and ostensibly an analyst to that. I mean, he reaches in with his stick, and he hits him in the legs, and the guy falls, and that's tripping. And that's the kind of play that you'll see in referee training videos. That's by the book, that's tripping. You can't do that. You go to the box for 2 minutes. Right?
Yes, I would think so. And the strange thing, it looked like Sartorelli was going to serve that. It's like, no, the penalty's not on you. It's on 12.
Yeah.
Of course, if I'd looked better at the replay that we just played, we'd see who that really was on, if it was Sartorelli or if it was on Matt Siegel. But nonetheless, you guys saw it well at home.
Oh, it was absolutely Siegel.
Yes, it was. And I don't know why Sartorelli would want to serve that one. I think he's the better player. Well, actually, Sartorelli has no goals this year. Maybe has actually never scored.
Deep breath, Dan.
So maybe that's why he wanted to serve that penalty. And now the Falcons gain the zone. Gordon's shot deflects off of Walker Hamilton's stick and out of play.
Anything that can go wrong for Framingham State is at this point in the game. They've conceded 3 goals in this game, turned a 2-1 deficit into a 5-2 blowout. And now as you start looking to see how much time is left, you commit a penalty and you have to kill a power play.
Falcons on their second power play. They scored on the first from Evan Burns. Goes to Kramer at the point, now to the left side. Looking for a one-timer chance. That was Vicario who couldn't get his stick on it and sent down the length of the ice. Held back there by McGrath. Now Kramer will storm up the ice.
Falcons with 15 seconds left, chance to get maybe one more goal in this impressive second period.
And there it is! All by himself! Has made it 6-2.
Ricky Kramer just skated in, found himself one-on-one with the goaltender, and he beat him. He makes it look easy.
Just like that, Ricky Kramer. And let's watch this again, getting by these defensemen, and he just snipes it top right corner.
Just like that.
Goals in the last minute of both periods for Fitchburg State. And now it is a 6-2 game. And Fitchburg maybe with one more chance, but I think Germain lost where it was. One more shot that was not going to count had it gone. McGrath will stop that one easily and pushing and shoving afterwards. And McGrath does get an assist for settling the puck behind the net, because after all, he left it there for Kramer to take it all the way down the ice. So McGrath picks up a point. And it's, again, 6-2 through 40 minutes of play. But my goodness, that was a good second period for Fitchburg State.
An absolutely fantastic second period for Fitchburg State. They put 4 goals up, the last of them scored by that man right there, number 19, Ricky Kramer. A 6-2 lead for Fitchburg State as we head to the locker rooms for the second intermission. And as we do, we will take a break here on FATV. We'll be back with you after the second intermission for the third period of hockey. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg right here on FATV. Hockey Night in Fitchburg continues here on FATV. Falcons with a 6-2 lead over the Rams of Framingham State. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Danny Bolak. And Dan, this second period belonged entirely to the Falcons.
Shots were pretty even in the period, 11 apiece, but it was all Falcons all the time in this second period, with the one exception of the one Framingham goal. But besides that,
we actually do have a look again at all of the action from the second period from a goal scoring perspective. There were 5 goals to take a look at here. The first one was scored by Fitchburg State.
You can see Chris Vicario coming up the right side, centers in front, and tipped in by Nick DiNicola for his second goal of the night.
It's a fantastic pass by Vicario. And then the second goal is just an incredible individual effort. And then the quick one-timer.
It's Brandon Eklund with the finish on that one, the Fitchburg native, making it 4-1. But of course, leave it to a Framingham native to respond for the Rams. Jake McKinnon with beautiful moves, beating his old Boston Junior Bruin brethren, Brian McGrath, to make it 4-2.
Framingham State showed a little bit of life there, and the Falcons spent the rest of the second period snuffing it out. A 4-2 lead becomes 5-2 just like this. Nothing the Rams could do about that.
As Sasha Figge banked it in off Adam Calabrese to make it 5-2. And there was one more goal after that. Ricky Kramer and we don't have
the aftermath of it there. Ricky Kramer taking the puck basically end to end from the far side of the ice all the way up. And we saw right there him celebrating after he put it away, made it a 6-2 game. And for those of you who are just joining us, might be a little confused, the Falcons are wearing purple jerseys tonight, and Dan, that is for a very good cause.
Absolutely, for Alzheimer's awareness, as tonight is Terry and Bette McNabb's game, in honoring the late Terry McNabb, a former assistant coach for Fitchburg State from 1986 to 1998. His contributions were responsible for most of the banners that hang on the scoreboard wall. Well, several ECAC championships during his time as an assistant coach with Fitchburg State. So many contributions. He passed away due to complications from Alzheimer's 2 years ago, and the Falcons today honor him in his memory. And you can see all of those championships from 1986 to 1998. That was when Terry McNabb was here with Fitchburg State, and you can see almost all of those banners with his fingerprints on it.
And purple, of course, being the color of Alzheimer's awareness and the Alzheimer's Association's Walk to End Alzheimer's. All of the proceeds from today's game, all of the fans in attendance, all of the concessions sold, all of those proceeds, once again, going to Alzheimer's Association's Walk to End Alzheimer's, a very worthy cause and one that we're very proud to be a part of here at FATV. But now we are underway with the third period of hockey, and to call the play-by-play, here's Danny Bolak.
Thank you very much, John. As it's dumped into the zone, Calabrese does remain in the game. Looks like he'll be finishing this one for the Rams, as the Rams will try to get it out of their own end. But Fitchburg playing tough there. As James Gordon flicks it along, Dean Zerby tries to make a play on it. But now Gordon recovers the puck onto the far side. And trying to make some nifty moves was Kramer. Couldn't get around that one Ram there. And that's Siegel against the far side boards now for Ryan Paul, who's been just about everywhere for Framingham tonight and got the opening goal. Dumped it in from inside the red line, no icing. On to the near side, this is Victor, who will take it from behind his own net. try to break it out on the far side. Pass up ice. Figgy can't get much on that one. They'll come back the other way, but intercepted. DiNicola tries to pass it for Figgy, just misplayed it. And taken on the right side is trying to recover there is Jack Pearson. But now this is Chris Vicario. Vicario spins around on the right side, centers Figgy. Now nifty passing moves, and oh my goodness.
That was easy.
Incredibly easy. Calabrese had sold out for the low, and Figgy's just waiting there, and all he has to do is elevate it and just flip it over him. Not much he had to do there, and Sasha Figgy's got his second, and Adam Calabrese is just thinking, what do I need to do?
If I may channel my inner Ian Dark, that was cheeky by Sasha Figgy. We'll take a look at it again here. Figgy gets out in the open. Calabrese sells out trying to cover up, and he's got the entire net. He just has to decide where he wants to put it, and Figgy decides to just chip it in, pick up his second goal of the night, and make it 7-2 Falcons.
Just like that, and so Sasha Figgy, his second goal of the night. Again, the 4-time MassCAC Rookie of the Week. One of the best freshmen in all of D2, D3 hockey. One-timer by Germain. It goes just over the net.
Figgy, the second Falcon to score 2 goals tonight. DiNicola also sitting on a hat trick. We'll see if either, or dare we say both of them, can achieve that mark tonight.
Calabrese will go and cover it up there. We'd wondered during the second intermission if they would consider going to one of the other 2 keepers that dressed the 2 freshmen on this roster for Framingham, whether it be Nolan Greene or Dominic Montecalvo, but both of them remain on the bench. We think that Calabrese will probably finish this one out. A shot through traffic, and Calabrese snares that one. There is one interesting stat about Dominic Montecalvo that I want to use because I was researching this. But last year when he was playing his junior hockey, Montecalvo was on a team that conceded 58 shots a game. In fact, won a game where he made 65 saves on 66 shots. So he's used to dealing with a team that gives up about 40 shots a goal. Well, a team like Framingham gives up 40 shots a game. It's like, when you think of it that way, that's low compared to what he had to deal with last year. I remember going through his game log, and I saw a game. It's like 28 of 20, 28 of 31. That's not too bad. Oh, wait, he only played the third period. You're facing a whole game's worth of shots in one period. That is, I don't know. Words do not describe that. So Fitchburg, of course, this is a game. Ice hockey is a game where you can't really lay off the gas. You just got to keep going, got to keep playing. And so there's no real calling off the dogs. So it's 7-2, but Fitchburg's going to keep digging for those goals nonetheless offsides against Framingham.
Jack Sheehan tried to reach back with his back skate and touch the blue line just barely, but he couldn't make it, and it was a pretty easy offside call.
17-16 to go in the third, 7-2 Fitchburg. The Falcons looking to sweep the day in Falcon sports, as both women's and men's basketball were winners today over Worcester State. The women winning 61-54, and the men winning 89-54. And with that, the Falcons will take a point in the Sterling Cup, the rivalry between Fitchburg and Worcester in all sports. Goes behind the net out to the left side as Sheehan tries to make a play on for Framingham. Puck comes out in front, top in the bottom of the slot, but nothing there that Framingham could do with it. Burns around, finds Eklund, pokes it out of the zone, and now Kyle Hillick with big strides. He's got Perry on the other side, and Perry not able to get it past Calabrese.
A really good save there by Calabrese, going full extension to keep that one out of the net.
And Eklund trying with a jam shot there. The puck squirts its way there. Now it's loose. It was available. It was not covered, but the official lost sight of it. I don't blame him either when you consider where the puck was, right in front of Calabrese's left pad, and the official's on the opposite side. He can't see it, so he's got to blow the play dead. And of course, you have the customary pushing and shoving after a whistle when the goaltender gets pushed like that.
Saw a couple of Rams come in and deliver pretty hard shots to a Falcon defender's back. We'll take a look at this one again. It's the scrum out in front of the net. The puck is pretty clearly in front of Calabrese's left pad, but again, to your point, Dan, from the referee's position, he couldn't see the puck, so he blows the play dead.
He's just trying to play on the safe side. After all, goaltenders are in vulnerable positions. Just because they've got all those pads on doesn't mean they're completely protected either. After all, you take a shot from a stick or whatever, the pads, they mitigate damage, but they mitigate pain and the like, but they're not going to completely alleviate it. Into the right wing corner, Zerbe not able to get a touch for Fitchburg, and now McKinnon up the left side for Soren Kallstrup. Kallstrup holding into the right circle, gets a shot looking for McKinnon on the doorstep, couldn't quite find him.
From a coaching perspective, Dan, obviously you're up 5 goals here, but for Fitchburg State, you look at a play like that, if Framingham State executed that a little better, that's a goal. That was a very easy tap-in one-time goal. Framingham State, fortunate from the Falcons' perspective, not able to capitalize, but there is work to do on this Falcon defensive end.
Absolutely. Just because you're up by 5 goals doesn't mean you can just coast the rest of the way. And especially in a game like this, I imagine this would be a decent time. You might start shifting your 3rd and 4th lines a little more. Remind your top line guys, don't do anything stupid. As the Falcons have a 2-on-1 developing here, this is DiNicola, who's on a hat trick, and he was looking for the pass there, but broken up by the one Rams defender back there in Walker Hamilton.
DiNicola looking to feed Vicario, as Vicario had fed DiNicola earlier. They were unable to connect.
Puck covered there using the blocker by McGrath. Not going to take any chances with that. 15:01 to go in this contest. The Falcons lead by 5 goals. There are a couple other games in the MASCAC tonight. Probably get you a scoreboard, but of note is Westfield State is at UMass Dartmouth, and Salem State is at Plymouth State. Worcester State, who is the immediate threat for Fitchburg in the standings, has the day off. So the Falcons looking to coast to victory. Well, I wouldn't say coast to victory, but the Falcons looking to put this one away. They would go to 19 points with 3 games to play. And after that, it's either beat Worcester to lock up the second bye and a spot in the MASCAC semifinals. And live stats tell me that Westfield and Dartmouth have finished, and it was a barn burner down there, as Westfield came away with a 7-6 victory.
Live stats is a nice euphemism for Falcons assistant coach Chris Kine nicely holding his phone up to you.
Absolutely. I mean, live stats are just the greatest thing as Fretz gets a shot off. Years ago, it used to be that nobody live statted games. You didn't know until the following morning when the game was entered in on college hockey stats. How did the game actually go last night? But now you know as it's happening. And so many teams webcast nowadays. I think pretty much every team in the conference now broadcasts. So now you can watch the games as they happen. And for years, there was always like a dark period in time. Nobody ever broadcasted. You had to get, and a couple of teams did, you just had to get lucky. Maybe they would have it. Here's a 2-on-1. This is Hayashi into the zone. Shot, save. Oh no! It sneaked through Calabrese, and it's 8 for Fitchburg.
Calabrese thought he had that one dead to rights for a second. Everyone in the Civic Center did as well. But then, as you said, Dan, it's an oh no moment for Framingham State. The puck just trickles through. Calabrese couldn't get it in time. And that is one of the odder goals you will see.
And the puck, it just stopped right after it completely crossed the goal line. Oh, what dreadful luck for Adam Calabrese. And it brings it into his night. Look at it just go like that. He just can't stop it. Oh, what a shame for him. I feel bad for him.
It is an 8th goal for Fitchburg State, and as you said, it is the final one that Calabrese will concede on this evening. Finally, a new netminder in place for Framingham State.
It is Nolan Greene. He is a freshman. He is from Quincy, Mass., played for the Florida Eels last year. He went 19-15 with the Eels last year in 35 games, played a .327 goals against, a .907 save percentage, also had 1 shutout. I mentioned that because his stats, he hasn't done very much with the Rams this year. He's played just 40 minutes. This is his 3rd appearance. All of it's come in relief. And he's 24 for 26. So
Tough night for Adam Calabrese comes to an ignoble end. The 8th goal, probably the worst of them all.
I mean, he had the 5-hole shut in, it just squeaked through. That happens sometimes, that you can't quite close the legs up completely. And if it's just sneaking through like that, you can't always feel it in your paraphernalia. And we have a penalty coming here.
Dan, I have a feeling in my paraphernalia, I think the Falcons are going to win this game.
I believe so as well.
Okay.
If Framingham wins this game, it's going to make SportsCenter.
Your oh no call might make SportsCenter. Travis, we need a clip of that. I wish Vine was still a thing. That would be a perfect Vine, wouldn't it?
I don't even know what Vibe was.
Oh. R.I.P. Vine.
Yeah. Oh, Vine. I just brain farted. All right, so this is the third power play of the night for Framingham State as Eklund takes his second penalty of the season. But yes, that would actually be a very good Vine. Yeah, it's a shame that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe, I guess I have to settle for Twitter. So on the right side, this is Hamilton. Hamilton on the right side for now Paul from Siegel, and a stick just went flying as someone just trying to make a play on. There's a one-timer, sails over the net. That was the stick of Ryan Paul. He's got it back now. Paul moving along, looking for Brandon Hamner. And that goes around the boards, cut down by Hamilton, kept it in the zone. And with a big swing, sent down the ice, and quickly Greene just sticks it along. Palaccio gets tangled up with Hayashi, 27-on-27 action there. Into the right wing corner, off the boards Hamilton, into the right point. Still 53 seconds to go on this third power play of the night for Framingham. They are 1 for 2. As McKinnon's goal, a very beautiful one, was the second there. Shot by Kevin Perry, and the stop made by Nolan Greene. It's the first real shot he's faced, I believe. Something like that. Rams bring it back into the zone for McDonough. Drop back to the point. This is Hamilton into the left dot, trying to put it on towards goal, but Fitchburg intercepts. Out to the far side, and that'll be out of the zone. Hamilton's going to get to that one first. Perry wanted to come off for a line change. Fitchburg intercepts, and it's Hayashi looking to kill some time. And Hayashi will just float it into the corner around the boards. A bit too strong for Fretz, but Fretz is going to follow on here. Win a race to the puck and continue this game of keep away until the penalty runs out, which it does right now. He regains the red and now the blue into the zone. Takes a bad angle shot off the side of the net. And now Framingham pushed into the boards on the right side. And you can definitely see it feels like they're running out of gas now, aren't they? A little earlier than...
Oh, absolutely. Fitchburg State is playing conservatively, and Framingham just either doesn't have the energy or doesn't have the desire to keep going at 100%, and quite frankly, I find it hard to blame them.
Down 8-2, shot from McKinnon, stopped by McGrath. And he'll hold on for a draw for his 28th save of the night. With 10:30 to go in this contest, the Falcons lead by 6.
Yeah, 10:30 to go in the third period. Falcons with an 8-2 lead. It's one of those times that makes you think, gee, why don't they have a running clock in situations like this?
Yeah, but there's no such thing as a mercy rule in college ice hockey. We play the full 60 minutes without any modifications, any adjustments. As Gordon goes for Zerbe. Now back for Gordon, now Zerbe behind the net. And Gordon again, playing along, battling with a couple of the Rams back there. Sartorelli there as well, along with Michael Janello. Now Gordon looking to turn it around. Not finding a good opportunity to turn around and shoot, so Kramer gonna try to do some things now. Kramer protecting it from Sartorelli. Gets that off to the left point. Quick shot, saved by Greene, and he paddles it to the right wing corner.
A really good job there by Greene. Thought for a second he was going to hold on, take the face-off, but he got rid of that puck, and Framingham State had a chance on the other end.
Already I could see from Greene, he's an active stick handler. He's not afraid to play the puck with his stick and get in the action. And you see a lot of goaltenders who sort of just use the stick as a tool for stopping shots and not much else. But he's willing to use it to distribute the puck as well. As there's some chances for Framingham, but they're not really able to get anything clean off on Brian McGrath. And now the Falcons coming back with numbers again. But Josh Saboyu leading the charge will just flip it in. And now Hillick tries to stop it behind the net. He can't pick that one up, and now the Rams come back. This is Ridgeway. Derek Ridgway gains the blue line. Shot is turned away into the right wing corner. This is Perry now for Evan Burns, who has himself a goal in this contest. He had the second one of the Falcons' 8. The Falcons' season high, by the way, is 9. They have not broken double digits this season, but it's not something that you see very often anyway. And they will call icing on that one. There seemed to be some indecision on whether or not they wanted to call it, since Ridgway seemed to try to make a play on it at the red line, but they've decided to cut Framingham a break and give that.
Nolan Greene seemed like he was eagerly calling for the icing call there.
Well, it would go his way. Well, he would like it to go his way, so of course he would like to have that. Face-off will be to the left of Brian McGrath. And on the draw, Fitchburg will control. It's Saboyu. Muscled off the puck by the Rams, but miscommunication, not able to quite get crossed. Well, now I get crossed up there. Regardless, they get a shot off from Sartorelli, but it deflects wide. Onto the right side, to the corner, bad angle shot, and McGrath sticks that one behind the net. And one of the Falcons takes down one of the Rams, and one of the Rams will be drawing that penalty to create a power play.
Looks like that was Kyle Hillick. Got caught out of position, just reached out with his stick. No, I apologize. It's actually going to be Josh Saboyu going to the sin bin.
Saboyu taking his 10th penalty of the season. The sophomore from Radley Beach, New Jersey. Rams looking for another goal. At this point, I think just playing, well, they've been playing for pride now that they've been knocked out of playoff contention. Coming into today's game out of it, but now looking to just try to create as much as they can. They got 4 against Fitchburg last time they played. Nice snare by McGrath with the glove.
Actually, that is not McGrath. That is a new man in net, Danny, and I don't have a number 1 on. Oh, that is Quinn Wold. Excuse me, stepping in at goaltender for the Falcons. Quinn Wold will be taking over for the last half of this game.
Do you notice that Quinn Wold's beard goes...
It's a heck of a beard.
It's not as big as mine, but it is really big.
Context is everything, Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, and Quinn Wold's going to make his second appearance of the season. He played 9 minutes against Becker College earlier this year, which was also a blowout game, and he stopped every shot he faced.
16th career appearance for the junior goaltender.
Wold has never, let's see, the only games that Wold has appeared in that the Falcons ended up being a winner were games that he appeared in relief. This is Hayashi with moves. Hayashi going to the goal, saved by Greene. And Greene thought he might have had it. He wasn't sure if he did. He didn't have it, but fortunately for him, nobody there for Fitchburg to bounce back. There's a shot and a kick saved by Wold. Wold coming to us from Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. He is a junior. He's just 5 feet 8 inches tall.
And like 14 inches of that is beard, so.
Yeah, he's got a lot of beard. It's like, you see, there are goaltenders who will wear, like the fiberglass things to try to protect their necks and whatever, but he has his beard.
No, he has hair protecting his neck. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's softer. It's more padded.
And I'd like to also remind everyone that the Rams are still on the power play, although I guess it is the graphic on our screen as well. Still another 40 seconds on that one. Shot saved by Wold again with the glove.
You know, Dan, we mentioned that both teams seemed to have not necessarily started coasting, but definitely not put out the absolute foremost effort. I would say that these two goaltenders are not playing that way. We've seen Nolan Greene and Quinn Wold both playing really well in their limited time here on the ice.
Yes, but for both goalkeepers, even though they do wear the number 1s, for Wold and for Greene, they don't get a lot of playing time. As we mentioned, this is only Wold's second appearance of the season. For Greene, this is just his third. So they want to try to make an impact. They want to try to make a point. They're going to play to the best of their abilities and show that they can be trusted to play if it comes down to it. A one-timer opportunity cut down in front. And so I think that's something exciting that we're going to get to see over the last few minutes, just to get to see these goalkeepers who you don't get to see very often getting an opportunity to play, as the penalty has been killed off. And the Rams find their second unsuccessful power play. Shot on, saved by Wold. He covers. Shots now 37 apiece according to the big board. with under 6 minutes to go. We mentioned these two teams on average give up 40 shots a game, and again, right on target for that. Try to give you a shot of Quinn Wold there. Again, enjoying the moment. Falcons up the near side. Now this is Germain. Germain looking cross ice for a one-timer, and Kyle Hillock not quite able to get it on. Now Germain back in the right wing corner for Fitchburg. Loses it and it goes to the left side corner, but Hillock getting there. Tries to find Germain, but he'll absorb the hit instead, and one of the Rams is doubled over. He got the worst of that one. And Saboyu will play it around the boards, as that was Michael Janello who took that one. 2-on-1 back the other way, and oh, what was that? That was supposed to be a centering pass for a one-timer. It was misfired. It ended up going off of Greene and into the net, and it's 9-2.
Patrick Germain, one of the more interesting goals you'll see from him. It's not what he intended to do, but he will certainly take it.
We've had some strange ones tonight, haven't we?
We'll take a look at this one again, see if we can figure out exactly what happens.
So it deflected off the stick, I believe, of Adam Hosmer.
I think it was the skate.
I think it deflected off of Adam Hosmer. And so it then went off of Greene, who was out of position because he was not anticipating that, and it goes in the net. That will be a goal for Patrick Germain. And there's a one-timer chance cut down in front off of the stick of Calaccio. Calaccio tries again, and Wold is able to stop that one. Now Victor on the far side. So Germain, as you hear from PA announcer Tyler Ross, Germain gets the goal, and let's have a look at Quinn Wold. Appreciate his wonderful beard. Like I said, you don't see players with beards like that. Well, maybe you see someone like Joe Thornton or Brett Burns. They have great beards like that, but they're not goalkeepers. Quinn Wold is a goalkeeper.
Okay, there's the beard, but honestly, for me, it's the hair, the way he leans back and just luxuriates in it. I mean, you think of Farrah Fawcett, you think of Cindy Crawford, and then you think of Quinn Wold. I'm sorry, Quinn, we're kind of objectifying you. I'm sure you're a good goaltender, too.
He's played well in the time that he's been able to play with the Falcons. His 16th career game. He's had to step up in relief a lot. And now this is a chance here into the zone. Fretz with a shot trying to go bar down, top left corner. Just a little too airborne there.
Falcons trying to channel their inner Ty Dillinger. They are in pursuit of the perfect 10. Almost got it there.
Another save by Nolan Greene off the stick of Fretz again. Fretz looking again. He wants a goal. He wants one badly. But another save by Nolan Greene. 3:50 to go in this game. Kolstrup trying to play for the breakaway, but the Falcons break it up. Carrying it up, this is Kramer, knocked down, we play on. There's a shot and a save. That was Hayashi with the chance there. And now a turnaround chance, and Greene stopping that one. Lost a handle on it, loose in front, it went around to the other side. Greene was able to get back there. And now a one-timer opportunity trying to find Kramer, was cut down into traffic. And back the other way, a big thunderous hit, and applause for the Rams fans just trying to appreciate what they can, and another glove save for Quinn Wold. You can see in the background the Lunenburg Air Shirley Blue Knights, who are ready to take the ice for the next game in this doubleheader.
Again, this is all part of Alzheimer's awareness. The McGrath family, we're trying, Terry McNabb, I'm sorry, just honoring them, honoring Alzheimer's awareness, the walk to end Alzheimer's. That game, as we mentioned, coming up after this one for those of you in the Fitchburg area.
Oh, still plenty of time to come on down, watch a great high school game. And we're going to have whistles, and you can see the Framingham State players, they are quite cross. I mean, at the end of the day here, I mean, this is a team that no longer in, they're no longer in playoff contention, and you can see the frustrations are boiling over for them. They're getting quite frustrated.
It's tough. You come into Fitchburg, you've got a tough opponent, and you've scored the first goal of the game, and ever since then, I mean, you just look at the scoreboard. It's 9-2. You're going to be frustrated.
And
you know, it's understandable. You hope it doesn't boil over into something terribly endangering or harmful or stupid the way we've seen from a Rams goaltender earlier this season, but you can understand why Framingham State would be frustrated. It's been a long year for them, and this has been a long night.
Absolutely. Falcons matching their season high in goal scoring with 9. This is the 4th time this year they've made it to 8 goals. Hillick into the left wing corner, pushed into the boards there. And along for Hamner, just out of his reach. Back for Siegel. Fitchburg will try to play it up. This is Hillick. Hillick into the zone. Backhand pass goes nowhere. And now Siegel might have a chance here, but Segui playing him well. And Wold making a pass up ice. Now for Hillick. If he shoots, I was going to say, if he shoots right there and scores, Wold will get an assist for that. And wouldn't that be hilarious if you had 2 different goalies getting assists in this game? But now back the other way, Siegel again. Backhands it towards goal, and Wold will just kick it away to his right. Onto the left side and around the boards to the right. Colin Sheehan trying to get there first for Fitchburg. He will do just that. Sheehan along the boards, gloved down at the red line. And Germain having trouble getting around one of the Rams there. And behind the net it'll go. Rams will try to bring it out. Hamilton sticks it along. Falcons will send it right back. And Germain trying to corral it, but Hamilton will have that. Onto the right side now, and it goes for Sheehan. He gets a shot off, and Wold with another save. Rams circling around again for Jack Pearson, but taken off his stick. Falcons will try to come back the other way. They're looking for 10. They want 10. To the red line. Burns backhands it high in the air. Does not strike the ceiling. And the Falcons will change up again. Rams will do so as well as they gain the red line. Brody McDougall on the left side. Knocked away by Wold. And now another centering chance from one side to the other. Nobody there to receive for Framingham. Gains the red line, dumps in Kramer. Back for Zerby. Zerby, backhand move. Couldn't quite get it cleanly on goal. They had Greene out of position, but they try to push it on, and Greene's able to get to it and stop it with 42.6 seconds left.
Falcons up to 43 shots on the night. They have just been peppering the Rams in the second and third period. And obviously you can see the results on the scoreboard there.
And you can see Brian McGrath taking a seat for the rest of the game, soaking in the sights. Kirby Sari staying up. One-timer score, and it's 10. And that is Germain getting his second of the game.
Patrick Germain, the third Falcon to score 2 goals. This one, I believe he intended to score.
I believe that went as it was designed. And the Falcons now have the season high. And for Framingham, they can at least go home knowing they won in the ones column. But they've lost in the tens column.
That was...
Yeah, that might have been.
You're not wrong.
A little too savage. Hillick behind the net. 20 seconds to go in this one. Eklund intercepting. Brennan Williams up the ice. Rams just looking for anything to hang their hats on. Bad angle shot, couldn't find anything. On the far side, time will run out, and the Falcons will skate away with a 10-2 victory.
Dan, it is Olympic season. The Winter Olympics just started. I give this performance by the Falcons tonight a 10. I think that's fair.
I think that's fair as well.
On this night, obviously, it was going to be an important night, win or lose, 10 goals or no 10 goals. Because of the honoring of Alzheimer's awareness, the Alzheimer's Association's Walk to End Alzheimer's, Terry and Bette McNabb's games. Obviously, it's a very important night no matter what. But real quick, Dan, a 10-2 victory. Fitchburg State looked outstanding tonight.
Absolutely. I always had that fear that maybe this could be one of those trap games, especially considering how Framingham played so well on January the 18th. The Falcons needed an empty netter to come away with a 2-goal win in that one. But tonight, the Falcons took control of this one. Even when Framingham came out strong, the concern was, could they hold it for 60 minutes? And the answer was a resounding no.
Fitchburg State with the victory tonight. They have 3 games left on the season. This coming Friday against Thursday against Salem State, a 7 o'clock face-off here at the Civic Center. Next Saturday, they are at Westfield State, and then Tuesday the 20th against Worcester State, the final game of the regular season. But the Falcons are definitely playoff bound, and hopefully they will have a first-round bye.
Absolutely. I wanted to make sure you got the date of the Salem State game right, because I'm calling that game for WPKZ.
Okay.
So, yep, you can tune in on that one at WPKZ.net or at 105.3 FM AM 1280 in the Fitchburg, North Worcester County area.
That's one more call to action that we should actually have for a for-profit enterprise on public access television, but never mind.
Yep.
We will move swiftly on and talk about the 10-2 victory for Fitchburg State. We thank you, Danny Bolek, for commentating on the game with me. We thank the entire volunteer crew of FATV. They do a fantastic job each and every night, and tonight was no different. We want to thank our underwriters as well. We'll see them momentarily, but most importantly, we want to thank you folks at home for watching us. We will see you again in the future, but for now, for Dan Bolek, I am John Gugerty. Thank you so much for watching Hockey Night in Fitchburg right here on FATV.